Hello, this is my brother Miles, and I brought him along to help me review Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. Now, before I start, I would just like to get one thing out in the open about this movie. At first I was really angry, but I didn't know who to be angry against, and you'll forgive me if I repeat some elements from my first Transformers movie, but I blame you. From beginning to end, I blame you. You know, after the first Transformers movie, I can forgive you for going to see it. It's a movie about giant robots beating the shit out of each other. Who doesn't want to see that? So, you know, you figure Michael Bay, king of the junk food action movie, might actually do some good with this film. Turns out it was one of the worst fucking movies to ever blight the cinema. But, you know, we sat in that theater, we got there 40 minutes early to this fucking movie. We were forced to sit in the second fucking row, our necks angled up to watch this piece of shit, this 2.5 hour piece of shit in the second row. This movie is packed. There's no excuse for that. What the fuck is wrong with you people that you saw the first movie, shame on Michael Bay. You see the second movie, fuck you assholes! Like, my God! Did you learn nothing? I have an excuse. Like, I'm a critic. You generally want to see me watch these movies just to see me, like, emotionally break down after this shit. I could barely drive home. I was so pissed off about this. This is the worst fucking movie!
Apparently, you're gonna get more pissed off because at the end of the movie, the entire audience applauded.
Yeah, I almost torched the fucking theater at the end of this thing. The people applauded. I'm not even going to go into the uselessness of applauding a movie, but you applauded Transformers too. I'm not a drinking man, but I can't stand it. I think the first thing I'd like to talk about is the excuse that, okay, look, the majority of the audience was children, and so you can argue that the point of this movie is that it's targeted to kids, you know, with the jokey shit and the toilet humor and the totally nonsensical hours-long violence of robots on robots. And I'd like to refute that right now, because don't you think that even if you were looking at it from purely in the terms of you want to see a movie that makes noise, that has explosions, that has robots fighting each other, don't you think this movie fails spectacularly even in that regard?
Well, I don't think that kids are gonna get the utterly racist and insensitive and sexist humor. All they know is they hear these robots spouting off, "Yo, diggity dog, we're gonna bust a cap in them."
Oh, like,
and they're gonna laugh, and they're gonna at the funny voices. They're not gonna know how utterly insensitive and Jar Jar-esque these robots are.
I'm gonna get back to the comic relief characters, because that deserves its own little side plot. What I'm talking about is if you're just looking at it from an action standpoint, the action in this movie, as much as there was, and I will admit there was a lot more than the first movie, it was so incomprehensible, so loud, so pervasively long, filmed in such extreme close-up, that I couldn't tell what was going on.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand we're in the first two rows, so we're not getting the full screen experience, but then again, these Transformers are not like the ones in the cartoon where you can immediately recognize them. They're solid objects. These are just such a big blob and orb of cogs, gears, wheels,
yeah.
and when they're grappling together, and they're always grappling together, you see body parts, you don't know what they're for, they're spinning around, you don't know who's hitting who.
It's this chaotic, jumbled mess. It's like watching one of those magnets at a wreck yard, like pick up this lump of metal and then just like throw it down a hill. That's all you're looking at. And it's all filmed so close up, and the robots look so much alike. And I was actually doing pretty well in identifying which robots were which. Mostly because like, even the robots that were identified in the first Transformers movie, they seem to have just dropped off the map, because, like, the only Autobots that I can remember in this movie are Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. I know Ironhide's in there, but they're all the same color.
Yeah, they're all this dull gunmetal gray color, and even they had a scene where they had Starscream and Megatron on the rooftop together arguing. And I had to turn to you and go, who is Megatron? Because they're both the same size, they're the same color, they're the same model, and I honestly didn't know who it was. And I watched the cartoon, I watched the first movie, I should know who these people are.
Megatron is the butch, Starscream is the bitch. But even so, like, there just seems to be, like, this gigantic mass of generic Decepticons, and, like they all look like Megatron. You'd think they'd make some method. Like, the only way we could figure out to tell who was a Decepticon and who was an Autobot was the color of their eyes. Because the Autobots have the blue eyes.
And there's a scene in the beginning where people are chasing this car, and you know, I had to ask you again, is this a good guy or a bad guy? And it gets cut in half by a sword, and I guess it was a bad guy because the rest of the crowd was cheering at the end of that. But
damn, I'm good.
I feel like such an old person because I'm with these youngins today. I just don't understand. I don't know who these robots are.
You're talking about the kid who is sitting behind us, and this kid is 4 years old. Alright? So, you're like, we're actually talking about, Bay did succeed in entertaining what must have been his target audience, 4-year-old retards. Ironically enough, the same mental age group that Bay himself belongs to. But again, I don't blame Bay. He's like an attack dog. Like, he does only what you tell him to do, and that's be the most juvenile, frat guy, pissant man-child there is in making a movie. And what still galls me is how fucking brutally long this movie is. I actually started compiling a list of movies that Transformers Revenge of the Fallen is longer than. Like 2001, A Space Odyssey, A Clockwork Orange. Like, if we're going like the entire Kubrickian model, like this is probably longer than Lord of the Rings. I haven't checked that one. It actually depends on what cut you see. I've heard the IMAX cut is longer, and thank God we missed that one.
When we're getting near Kurosawa territory and you know, Seven Samurai and Ran, you know, I actually think it might be longer than Ran, but you're getting longer than Kurosawa. You're getting in trouble.
You just, what scares me is you have to figure this is the version that was cut for theaters. Okay, like this is the final cut. Like, this is like the studios were like, this is too much. This is as much as you can put in theaters. Like,
we haven't gotten the unrated director's edition cut on DVD.
2001 had an intermission. Okay, this movie is. You looked at me at the 70-minute mark and said, like, are we winding up? Is this over? I looked, there was, like, we weren't even halfway through the movie.
I swear to you, on everything that's holy and what I believe in, I swear I thought we were over 2 hours into this movie.
He thought we were, like, winding into the third act or whatever. Like,
I'm going, are we going to have our final battle sequence soon?
Can you even talk about a 3-act structure in a movie this fucking long? And what's silly is, this movie, for as long as it goes, is about nothing. Literally nothing. Like hang on. Sorry about that, my alarm clock went off. But, like, you could write the plot of this movie on a bar napkin. Like, literally it's about Decepticons want power source. Sam knows where power source is, they want Sam. That's it.
And, you know, I'm thinking, if we cut all the superfluous bullshit that comes into this movie, all the plot threads that go nowhere, the cul-de-sacs, the characters we don't need, the comic relief that abounds it, you would have a pretty decent summer action movie of robots fight. I'm just saying, it's not good, but in terms of Michael Bay, it would kind of be like, to others, the first Transformers, where you could watch it and it would be good. But that's this whole movie. This is all just plot that goes nowhere, characters that are annoying.
If you cut all that shit, the movie is 5 minutes long.
Yeah, it's just robots fighting, and that's all I wanted.
But No, you don't want that, because the entire last hour of that movie was that battle in Egypt with the fucking abusive amounts of slow-mo. Like, there was a whole hour, it feels like just thumb screws. It's so sadistic, and I was like, I started going mentally through this movie, going like, and maybe we should just go through like the various major portions of this movie, and I simply ask you, does this scene move the plot forward in any fashion? Like, in such a way that it could, if you cut it, does it affect anything? Okay. Like, the scene, like, we're trying to establish that Sam is going to college. Just because. Like, does that contribute anything to the story? No. So, Sam goes to college. Does that contribute anything? No. And even as far as we're setting up the fact that he's going away from his family, away from his girlfriend, and the fact that he has like this Allspark sliver in his shirt, even that plot element is rendered superfluous by the fact that there is another Allspark object in a military bunker that also gets stolen by Decepticons. So basically what you're telling me is that Sam's entire character is pointless. He does not need to be in the movie, and that's exactly what I'm saying about. That's what I said about the first movie. That's what I'm saying about this movie, is the human characters are entirely irrelevant. They've never been relevant. They contribute nothing to the story, and they're unwelcome in the story because what we want to see is the Transformers.
Well, the first two scenes you mentioned, that Sam getting ready for college and Sam going to college, those are just foils for his comic relief characters. Like,
right.
we get the scenes where Sam's parents talk about sex and you know, they're talking about having sex on the beach or something like that, and you see dogs humping. And then the scene in college, you see even more comic relief characters where his parents have hash brownies and acting completely...
Yeah, there's a scene where Sam's mother goes on... she eats hash brownies and goes on like this rampage across campus as if, like, pot does not make people act that way. But that's an interesting exercise that I want to do is... Would you like to count the number of comic relief characters that were in this film and see if we can get through all of them? Okay, Sam's parents, that's 2.
Yeah.
The worst, by the way, was Sam's roommate. What was it, Leo?
I don't even remember.
That guy was the most fucking annoying guy.
He's this guy that Sam rooms with, and he's this X-Files, you have to believe sort of character, and he gets dragged along for the ride. And his entire movie, he's just sitting in the backseat going, we're gonna die!
And by the way, his entire character is the fact that he is trying to expose the truth behind the Decepticons, because the government's been covering all this up. Like, these gigantic Decepticon robots are tearing up major portions of cities.
But it's Men in Black.
Somehow, the government is able to cover this up because I guess it's assumed that camera phones, the international press...
We can't cover up sex scandals, but we can cover up giant robots destroying cities.
It's assumed that nobody has a brain, nobody has a phone or a camera. There's no such thing as reporters or the internet. No. We've managed to cover up the fact that there are giant robots doing battle in China!
We're going on with the comic relief characters, though. Okay. We're up to Leo.
We're up to 3.
Or whatever.
His 2 stoner buddies.
Yeah, that's 5.
I'm going to count those. The Decepticon that sounds like
Joe Pesci.
The midget security guard
at the checkpoint.
Yeah.
There's 2 cars that are twins.
Oh, Skid and Mudflap.
Skid and Mudflap. They're what we call the Jar Jar Binkses of this movie, I guess you can call. They go around and they're...
Yo, what's up, man?
We're gonna pop a cap in you,
yo.
You'll
get your ass kicked now.
Gonna have to slap a bitch.
Oh, yeah, bam! Damn! Well, you're like, when you're... I rag on Jar Jar Binks for being racially insensitive. And I think a lot of people are bringing up Jar Jar Binks, like, worst since Jar Jar Binks. Like, you've taken Jar Jar Binks, you've cloned him, and then you've told him to play up, like, the most offensive buckwheat, Amos and Andy, illiterate, lazy, stupid black people stereotype, and just roll with it. And you think, like, maybe one scene is bad enough, like, even Jazz, the character Jazz from the first movie, he did one thing, okay? He was like, yo, 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 boy! And that was it, like, and that was bad enough. People brought that up as, like, the most offensive stereotype. Jazz had, like, 5 seconds in that movie. Then
These are some of our main characters. They get more screen time than Bumblebee.
They probably get more screen time than Optimus.
Yeah, they do.
No doubt. And like, you just want, like, every one of these characters... Oh, the CIA guy who takes over the Nest organization. That's 10.
There's a black guy who's got these big false buck teeth.
The black guy with the big teeth and the John Turturro, I'm counting that. That's 11. The guy with the buck teeth in the butcher shop. The 11. His mother.
I'm saying like maybe the CIA agent.
I said that one. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're like at 13. Do you need that? Like, is there enough comic relief in this movie? Should I count the 2 dogs that spend most of the time fucking each other? Should I count the bearded pirate Decepticon leaning on a cane with a fucking beard? How does a Decepticon grow a beard? Like, does it start off as, like, little scruffy 5 o'clock shadow, like, metal shadow?
Rust.
Why does this Decepticon need a cane? Like, why does this Decepticon able to teleport when none of the other Decepticons or Transformers ever are? Why is a Prime the only one able to kill the Fallen? Like, I'll roll with that, but tell me why. It seems like he can be killed by physical means just like any other one. Is it like a rule, like like Highlander, like you have to cut their head off or something like that? Like, only a Prime can do this, or he'll just get better. But like Autobots, death means basically nothing to them because you can just do stuff to them and they'll get better. Like, oh, Allspark, ping, he's better. I'll just use the Matrix on him, ping, he's better. And
2 things I want to say about the comic relief, because like I said before, I can see kind of kids getting into these yo-yo-yo robots just because they're goofy voices and they don't know any better, but I was sitting in the theater going, man, I'm feeling unclean. Is there some way I can feel shameful for other people while I'm sitting here?
I remember saying on my Transformers one that I felt, like, I asked if it was okay that I was offended at the stereotypes in there, like Anthony Anderson's character, like that guy who, like the gluttonous black fat guy, like, don't you be walking on my carpet, Grandmama don't like no one on my carpet, especially not police! You know, like, I ate the whole plate. The whole plate! Shut up, Grandma! Like the you can't believe that people were paid to write this. Another one. 14. The smarmy Lothario-esque
oh my
college
god,
professor.
I tried blocking him out of my memory. It's Rainn Wilson from the NBC's The Office, and he plays like this astrology professor who's somehow the biggest Lothario on campus. Like,
welcome everyone to the greatest astronomy class.
He's the biggest rock star professor, and apparently he can lay any one of the hundreds of double D hotties that are at college. And I wish I went to this college because there was not an ugly woman or even a bland woman at this college.
How dare you, sir! Get out of my class! I am the Alpha and the Omega of all astronomy. Out, I say! Like, at no point in history, ever...
Yeah, he actually says Alpha. He is the Alpha and the Omega. He compares himself to God.
At no point has a professor of anything, even the crazy ones, ever spoken in such a fashion. Like... There's no verisimilitude at any point in this movie. There's nothing to identify with. There's nothing real of any kind. I still don't understand the Decepticons, like what powers they have. Like, they're hatching from eggs. Like, do Decepticons fuck? Like, what is laying these eggs?
I thought the Allspark was supposed to be the creation of all these things, but apparently, like, this big Decepticon in space, I don't know what it's for, it can shoot new robots out of its ass and just send them down to Earth as
apparently Decepticons do fuck because they have testicles, which you see in great detail. Apparently they like to hump Megan Fox's leg, although I understand that.
Can we now count, if we're counting things, can we count the number of sex, dick, and fucking jokes? Okay, we had the dogs fucking in the beginning. Twice. but I'll count that as one still.
No, I'm counting twice, and you can't do that. You can't show that on camera twice and be like, that counts as one. No, it's
Okay.
you showed 2 dog fucking scenes.
Okay, next we have the Allspark creating this robot that I swear it's got this big John Holmes dick gun that it shoots out in these pelvic thrusting motions.
I always liked how Optimus Prime is like, the Allspark is a tool for great good. It's the source of ultimate power. And yet every time anything gets close to the Allspark, it turns into like this satanic, murderous, gun-toting, hell-spawn Decepticon. Are we like? Is this a gift from hell? Like,
they try to introduce this concept that that you can choose between good and evil. That they aren't just straight up Decepticons and Autobots. That you can make a choice. But when they come out of the Allspark, it's trying to stab and shoot things. It's hard to bring up choice and this matrix decision-making process.
It seems like evil's pretty hard-coded in the Allspark. I kept expecting Pinhead to just climb out like,
By counting dick jokes now.
Okay, we're on 3 dick jokes. Like, I'm counting the leg humping scene from the Decepticon.
Okay, now we have the Joe Pesci mini robot that humps Megan Fox's leg.
We're going to 4 with the blender with the dick. Yeah, okay.
We've got we've got the giant one where we see the big brass balls hanging between them. I swear, like, one of the characters they fall and one lands and he hits his groin. When they get teleported, he falls down, and one of them...
Yeah, the Decepticons can teleport, by the way. I bet you didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just magic wand. Let's go to another part of the world, and Decepticons can now try... But this was all just, writing to try to cover up the fact that Shia LaBeouf lost his pinky finger in his recent DUI accident. Michael Bay needed something... It's like, how are we going to explain him losing an entire finger? Friggin', he just transported somewhere and he lost it. He just lost it somewhere.
But, yeah, I mean, at some point there's like...
Oh, and we see John Turturro's in a G-string.
Thank you for that!
It's a full... We got the full IMAX experience. His front package is in this G-string, and it's right in the middle of the screen like he's personally teabagging us. And then he turns around and we see his ass cheeks. Thank you. I wanted to see John Turturro's pube hair.
You asked to see John Turturro's ass 40 feet across on a movie screen, and then, like, just showcase his package, like, right in front of you. That's Transformers right there, okay? And, like, after about an hour, we've accomplished nothing in this movie. Like, nothing occurs. Things are happening, but they don't mean anything. Like, nothing is advanced.
Like I said, everything's a foil for the comic relief characters. It's like little sketches they put on. Like, Shia goes to college. What wacky misadventures can they get into?
And what little action there is doesn't even make sense in terms of what you're talking about. Like, in terms of comic relief, it doesn't make any sense even in terms of, like, simple logic. I remember I almost lost it really early on when he drops the Allspark thing. All the appliances in his kitchen start going nuts. They turn into Decepticons. Shia gets attacked, nearly killed. He screams for Bumblebee, who comes ripping out of the garage. He kills the Decepticons. Then, seconds later, he's like, "You have to go away, Bumblebee. I don't need you." And then, of course, we introduce the first of many Autobot bodily fluids when Bumblebee starts crying. But what slays me about this is that he tells Bumblebee he doesn't need him seconds after a mob of Decepticons try to murder him with machine guns.
And this was the dumbest, well, I can't say the dumbest, but one of the dumbest moments in the movie because, okay, you're saying goodbye and you say you don't need, the best Camaro, you could ever have, but also a giant talking robot that does shit for you. Like, you are the dumbest motherfucker on the planet. That's like giving up Megan Fox.
Yeah.
You're saying you don't need, and you want the giant robot to go away. Like, this is every kid's wet dream. But no, we we don't want you anymore, Bumblebee. Go away.
Yeah, he doesn't want a brand new Camaro. He doesn't want a robot that basically obeys his every word.
That was one of the bigger plot holes or mistakes for me.
He's tempted against all logic by a blonde Decepticon who can take human form, by the way, and that opens up all sorts of plot holes I don't even want to get into. Let's just for now agree that it's a species ripoff and have done with that part, okay? With the tongue demon. Oh, okay.
We're supposed to believe Shia is tempted by this Decepticon dressed as a blonde, but hello, he's got the hottest woman imaginable in Megan Fox, so it's like, I don't care. I'm officially a eunuch to every other woman if I had Megan Fox, so I don't see where this whole plot point is going.
Yeah. and then after that, Optimus Prime contacts Shia, and he's like, the Allspark was taken from a vault by the Decepticons. And by the way, the U.S. military is the most embarrassingly inefficient, ineffective military force I've seen since Godzilla movies. Because they throw Megatron at the bottom of the Laurentian abyss, or whatever they call it. And that stops the Decepticons for all of, 0 seconds. Because all they do is they jump in the water, they drag Megatron out, and all the attack submarines and aircraft carriers and destroyers of the U.S. military, they just kind of go, hey, it's gone. They put him in this impenetrable strong. The Allspark is in this impenetrable stronghold, which is immediately penetrated by that fucking annoying boombox Decepticon, which can also now apparently turn into marbles and then reassemble because it's liquid metal.
Yeah, we've glossed over the fact that this one turned into a woman, but. Can we just go into how we've thrown off all logic? I know logic, but in the Transformers universe, about them just picking one object. Like Optimus has always been a big rig. He's always going to be a big rig. But now these Decepticons can turn into whatever the fuck they want.
They always have.
They can turn it. Well, I honestly, I haven't seen it in a while, but. Now they can turn into whatever they want, whether it be liquid metal, they turn into these billions of ball bearings that can go anywhere. They can turn into flesh and blood humans. They can turn into... It doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, they can turn into people now. Why are they... why would you bother turning into a fucking bulldozer when you could turn into a person?
It just seems we discarded all kind of... Even Transformers logic at this point. We're just going, whatever, just do whatever you want to. It doesn't matter anymore.
Is it is it worth talking about any of the other plot holes that don't make sense? No matter where it is in the world, it always seems to be 6 a.m. Egypt, California, whatever. They can leave the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum and immediately get teleported. I'm not talking Decepticon teleported, I'm talking bad editing teleport.
Moving logic.
They just immediately teleport to the American Southwest. All of a sudden they're running around like an airplane graveyard. They run at the back door of this fucking Smithsonian and they're in Arizona. With a bearded fucking robot, and then they're like, "Oh, we need to go to Egypt." Bamf, and they're
and that doesn't the Autobot they're with is a giant plane. You could have just had him fly to Egypt, but all of a sudden we just made up a rule.
Does Megan Fox drive from L.A. to D.C. in 2 hours? So
either that or flies. She flies across the country in literally 2 hours, according to movie logic. And
I like how shameless it is. Michael Bay is about Megan Fox anymore. You and I know why she's there.
Yeah.
But the first time you see her, she's just
ass right on screen.
They're we're not even hiding this anymore. Here's her ass.
They try to say she's detailing a motorcycle, but if that is, it's the most inconvenient way to detail a motorcycle. She's straddled around this momotorcycle, and she's in this supermodel pose where she's
it's this most awkward, inconvenient, painful way to detail a motorcycle. She's it basically looks like those car detailing magazines where the lady's stretched out, even more painful. Her spine does things that human spines aren't meant to do.
But okay, one of the things that bothered me is I can go along with the fact that it's dumb and kiddies can like it, but we counted out the number of dick jokes and sex jokes and I'm hearing these characters say like "fuck" and "pussy" and all this stuff.
PG-13 though, and I bet you didn't know that.
I figured it was. I figured it wouldn't get an R rating, but I mean this is really for kids. I know it's PG-13, but this is Transformers. They're getting it toward kids, and I'm strange that I'm going puritanical on this. I mean, I'm the one who owns Caligula. I'm the one.
You shouldn't say that.
but I'm not a prude, is what I'm trying to say. But even I was going, this is a kids movie, and we're saying like pussy and having dick jokes and ball jokes and having John Turturro's ass in front of the screen.
And that's what I mean is, in many ways, like you said, if you cut out all the human elements, you've got a pretty decent movie, or at least you've got a movie about robots punching each other.
Yeah. And
that's all you want. You don't go into a movie called Transformers to watch people act like assholes. Like, you don't, like, Transformers, you're not like, I want to see dogs fucking. I want to see John Turturro rip his pants off and, like, wiggle his withered package in front of the camera. Like, you don't, that's not what you signed up for. That's not what you paid money for. As bad as it is, like, you can actually kind of sympathize if he made a 90-minute movie that was nothing but really loud robots clanging into another, as incomprehensible as it might be. If that was the movie he made, I couldn't really argue with that. But instead, he pads it out, and it really is blatant, nothing but padding. Almost literally, I would say, an hour and a half of padding.
And the Sam character, it was always just a friendship between him and one of his Autobots, and that's really all you needed to have. It was have Sam be a friend to Bumblebee, and he gets somehow dragged into these misadventures. But they do so much to try to explain him into the plot that they really go out of their way to try to explain why Sam is in this movie, that he now has the...
He's the chosen one.
He's the chosen one. He is Neo. He is the Kwisatz Haderach.
Because when he dies, and, oh well, big spoiler, he dies and he goes to robot heaven. Oh, I'm real. He... Like, Megatron shoots him in the back or something, he blows it, and you're like, yay! By the way, like, there are several false moments where, like, you are actively cheering for the annoying fucking sidekicks, and there's no shortage of them, to die horribly. Like, there's one scene where, like, Turturro and that Sam's roommate are piled into those fucking annoying black stereotype car Skid and Mudflap. They're all together, and you're like, at any moment, that Devastator Decepticon or, like, Megatron could just step on them, and you're just like, die! Die! Yes! And then, like, what, like, Devastator, like, sucks one of those fucking robots into his mouth, and you're like, yes!
We have so many, like, false glimpses of hope that characters die, and that's one thing I got to admire about the original Transformers movie is when a character was dead, they were dead. But this one, we get so many characters that die, but then they come back later through magic, you know. They can't kill Megatron, so they bring him back. And then, you know, Optimus Prime gets shot, but he can't die because then we lose the franchise, so we bring him back. And then even the Skid and Mudflap, we have him die, but we can't have our comic relief die.
Did that hold any tension at all when Optimus Prime died? Like, you knew that wasn't going to happen. You knew nobody had the balls to make that stick.
They don't have the balls to kill the franchise with that. So you knew they're going to bring him back through some way somehow, and it just didn't hold any tension. You see characters crying, like Shia trying to cry.
You gotta let me go,
you gotta let me go, Dad.
You got to. Yeah, it's about as embarrassing as the scene in Armageddon where he's like, "I love you, man."
I love you, Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck, man. Just tell Liv Tyler I love her, man.
No, you will. Oh no, I'm thinking of Pearl Harbor. You're gonna be a daddy.
No, you are. Oh, Michael Bay. I think, and I swear to you, like, I was really hard pressed. I don't like to engage in hyperbole, so I actually had to kind of sleep on this one for a little bit because I was so mad, and I don't like to throw out terms like worst movie ever or or like worst movie I've ever seen. At least not without thinking about it for a little bit. Like, I believe it or not, I'm not one of those reactionary types who like has a new worst movie ever every week. Like, I'll classify it like worst horror movie I've ever seen, but like I was really hard pressed to come up with a worse movie that I'd ever seen than Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, because it's worse than Transformers. And you just think about that for a second. It's worse than Transformers. If you dared me to film something that might possibly be more annoying, I can't do it. So, like, what I started doing was, I'm kind of an aficionado. Me and Miles, we kind of collect bad movies. And so I thought what I would do is I would collect a handful of movies, and he would collect a handful of movies, and we would try to judge, and at least justify, whether or not these movies are worse than Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, better or worse. So, like, this is the little game we're going to play is Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen better or worse than these movies? And I'm going to start with Troll 2. Is Transformers better or worse than Troll 2?
Transformers is worse than Troll 2, because
really?
I love just the mockery value of just the hammy acting and the poor, just the ludicrous, goofy script qualities. I mean, you could just look at the scene going, they're eating her, and then they're going to eat me.
See, okay, you're going for cheesiness value. All right,
yes,
I'll buy that.
I can laugh at cheesiness for that, so...
I would say that, that's a tough one. All right, you go ahead.
Well, I guess I'll start with... Actually, it'll be a twofer, but it'll be a Michael Bay kind of double feature. First is going to be Bad Boys 2.
Oh, you're pulling Michael Bay on Michael Bay.
I'm pulling Michael Bay on Michael Bay.
I would rather watch Bad Boys 2 any day of the week.
I would rather watch Bad Boys 2 also. Just because they're offensive, but at least they're kind of funny offensive, and it's still good action. Like, it's also long. It's 2 hours and 30 minutes.
That's my other complaint, is that movie is just about as long. But there's a part of me that would rather watch Martin Lawrence and Will Smith run around doing crimes and shooting bitches than all the Transformers, because at least, it's tough, though.
But I'll give you another Michael Bay epic, and we just brought it up, was Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor?
And I would rather watch Transformers 2 than watch Pearl Harbor.
That's tough, because I haven't actually seen Pearl Harbor all the way through. But that movie was fucking brutal. Believe it or not, I would probably watch Pearl Harbor before Transformers.
You have not seen all of Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, I think World War II just started. I'm going to leave that one up to you guys. Okay, next one. This is a tough one, because I actually rated this as one of the worst movies I'd ever seen in my life. Alone in the Dark, an Uwe Boll masterpiece.
Alone in the Dark?
Yes, Alone in the Dark.
That's another one that I can turn on the Uwe Boll commentary track and just laugh at Uwe Boll, who's just completely out of his mind.
Yeah, it's tough when you're judging bad movies, because now we're talking about riffability here. Like, how much fun can you make of this movie?
I always put it in like 2 categories: so bad it's good, and just so bad you want to claw your eyes out.
Yeah, I kind of go with how much this movie hurts. This movie hurts a lot, but it's also really funny, and it's great for one of those B-movie nights. And plus, you're kind of getting 2 movies in one, because the commentary for Uwe Boll movies alone are worth the price of admission. They really are, because this guy's out of his fucking mind.
Exactly. Okay, topical, Twilight.
Yeah, I knew you were going there.
You have to go there.
Probably the toughest one, and this is going to surprise you, but I would rather watch Twilight than Transformers. Yeah, and I'll tell you why. And this is going to be a criteria that's gonna be really hard to top. For basically any movie you can show me, I'm going to point to running time for this movie. Transformers, about 2.5 hours long. Twilight, I doubt, is longer than 2 hours. And if you're gonna ask me, like, would you rather have a hot poker shoved into your balls for 2.5 hours or 2? I wouldn't enjoy either, but I'll take less time.
It's how long it feels, though, and to me, Twilight, nothing happens at all.
Well, nothing happens in Transformers.
You see Edward looking longingly into Bella's eyes and saying, "I love you," and she goes, "No, I love you more," and he goes, No, I love you like 10 times more.
You're like my own personal heroine. Hang on a second, I'm gonna change the tape. We're running out of tape. I'll be right back. Alright, we're back. We're still playing better. Is this movie better or worse than Transformers 2? I'll do next. I think I know where you're going to come down on this one. This is one of my personal pet peeves. This movie made me angrier, I think, than I think I've ever been at any movie ever, just in terms of sheer rip-offedness. Aragon.
Oh, God.
Aragon better or worse than Transformers? Yeah.
You know what? I'd almost want to watch Transformers. You know, I know it's not as offensive as Aragon is not as offensive as Transformers 2, but the acting in that movie, just the fact that they do rip off stuff, I'm almost more offended that they rip off everything and instead of trying to do something different. At least Michael Bay, he's an asshole, but at least he's an original asshole.
I'm gonna stun you and say I would rather watch Aragon twice.
Oh, God.
Why? Because it rips off Star Wars, and it rips off Lord of the Rings, and as blatant as that sounds, you're ripping off some pretty good shit. So I would rather watch like a filtered Lord of the Rings than Star Wars at 103 minutes long, twice, than watch Transformers 2.5 hours. I'm going running time again.
Here comes one of my personal low points in my life was Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin. What do you think?
I would rather watch Transformers 2 because Batman and Robin, it's no secret that it's one of my worst movies. Just from a fan point of view, I'm a huge Batman fan, so having them go back to the campy, goofy Adam West 60s Batman, it really pissed me off. I'm
going running time again. Batman and Robin is way shorter, and this one, Batman and Robin did not hurt as much as Transformers did for me.
You're Chris O'Donnell whining.
But
I'm not as big as Batman.
I would rather take the 10 minutes Chris O'Donnell spends whining in that movie than the 2 hours Shia LaBeouf spends whining in Transformers. I'm sorry, I really would. It's worse than Batman and Robin. I'm gonna go, oh, that's bad. I'm gonna go with what many people consider to be the worst movie of all time. Wrongly so, but Manos, The Hands of Fate.
See, this is hard for me to go because I've only seen it with the Mystery Science Theater treatment.
I've seen it without. This is my official unriffed copy.
So, you know, it's kind of... It almost disqualifies me because I haven't seen it unriffed, but I would almost have to say... I guess Manos just...
Manos is what, better?
Better, just because it's shorter, like you said.
Yeah. Manos is 69 minutes long. That's a little over an hour. You can grit your teeth and suffer through Manos. It probably will seem twice as long, but that's still 2 hours. That's still not 2.5 hours of Transformers. I gotta go with Manos, because at the very least, like, even if you're watching it, the unriffed version, you can kind of play it back in your head. Like, you can kind of escape to a faraway land and imagine you're watching the Mystery Science Theater version.
I almost know it by heart, so I can almost riff on it without the MSD commentary.
Like, you could start thinking, like, what if I did, like, a theme party of Manos? Like, there's no such escapism in Transformers. You're like, I'm sitting there watching this shitty movie. How much longer is there to go? Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go... You're talking about running time. The Oliver Stone epic, Alexander, the final cut.
I have never seen the final cut, but I have seen the theatrical cut.
You have seen Alexander, though, and it's not that far off.
I've seen the theatrical cut, and I've seen the director's cut, and ironically enough, the version you showed me is the final cut, which I don't actually know what the difference is.
I guess the director's cut wasn't actually the director's cut. They just called it the director's cut, and the final cut was Oliver Stone's final attempt to say, "Look, you fucking morons! This is my masterpiece. Please look at it. This is you are so dumb for not appreciating what I do for you. This is my final cut to make you understand."
I honestly, it's not even close. I would rather watch Alexander, because even bad Oliver Stone is light years, and I mean light years better than fucking Michael Bay. And even if you, like, I was actually kind of entertained by Alexander, at least. I didn't like it that much, but it was okay. And besides that, Rosario Dawson's titties That elevates it. I'm telling you, that's 1 star. You can kind of suffer through that as long as you're like, Rosario Dawson's titties are coming up any second. Oh.
Titties don't just do it for me.
Titties will elevate it.
Especially since we're looking at Colin Farrell's ass for the 50th time.
It's a nice ass. Come on, you can't. You can do worse. You can do John Turturro.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I still got to go for Transformers, though.
Over Oliver Stone. How dare you, sir?
I know.
How dare you?
I'll watch JFK and Penance.
This guy. This is the first time I really disagree with this guy. You picked this one out. It somehow got in my stack. Wing Commander.
Oh my god.
This tops the list of the worst movies I've ever seen. This is I don't know how exactly I'd rank it, but it's up there. If you've never seen it, don't. I hate to go running time on this one again, and I'm not actually sure how long it goes. I don't think it says, but it can't be that long. It's got to be one of your standard 90-minute movies. Yeah, something like that. But Wing Commander. Do you think better or worse than Transformers? I'm not going to go running time on this one. I'm going to purely on its merits. I would shoot myself. Like if you made me choose.
I'd rather watch Transformers because Shia LaBeouf doesn't hold a candle to the double feature that is Freddie Prinze Jr. and Matthew Lillard trying to out-CW themselves in teen wangst.
I think we actually talked about this very briefly last night. I'm gonna turn on this one. I'm gonna say I would rather watch Wing Commander than Transformers, and one reason why. It has what's his name? The guy from Das Boot.
God, you just put me on the spot here.
I know.
Jürgen Prochnow.
Jürgen Prochnow. It has Jürgen Prochnow as the captain in it, and if you kind of squint and do a lot of mescaline, you can kind of pretend that you're watching Das Boot.
That's a lot of mescaline.
Yeah, and it's shorter and it's got Jürgen Prochnow, and you can kind of pretend he's a submarine captain. I'm out of movies.
That's a stretch. Battlefield Earth.
Oh,
yes.
Let
the Thetans control you.
That they're just about the same length too, aren't they?
No, it feels longer, but it's like 2 hours, a little over 2 hours.
119. It's not even 2 hours.
It's not even 2. How? See,
Can you believe that?
Even in my mind, it has it over 2 hours.
None of you have probably seen Battlefield Earth. I have twice. That movie seems like 3 hours long. I swear to you, it does. I would.
The Dutch angles, everything's at an angle.
I would probably watch Transformers over Battlefield Earth.
I would probably watch it also.
Just in terms of sheer tradecraft in the direct. I don't know who they got to direct Battlefield Earth, but that guy. The Dutch. You know what a Dutch angle is? Literally every shot in Battlefield Earth. Every one is like this.
I'm running on the bed.
It's the Dutch angle is when you tilt your camera sideways and film everything like that. I'm not exaggerating. Everyone.
The entire movie is shot in Dutch angles.
And it's and not only talking about the batshit insanity of Scientology, I'm not even going there, but it's like Travolta at his worst. Yeah, I'd watch Transformers. Because at least the special effects in that movie are somewhat effective.
But almost
somewhat. It's close.
I know. And just even hating on the comic relief, I hated on the tender moments, like when we had Shia and Megan Fox kind of saying, "I love you" and "I love you," and the tender moments between his parents, like, "You run! No, you're coming with us."
What the hell were his parents doing in Egypt? Like, they get captured and then taken by the Decepticons to Egypt. To this day, I will never understand. He goes to robot heaven when he's killed. Is that the true religion now? Like, are we abandoning like Christianity,
In
Buddhism?
Optimus we trust.
It like is the Cybertron gods the religion we should really believe in? Did Optimus bring like a Cybertron Bible with him? Should we be reading that? Like
We keep going back to it. The final scene is so incomprehensible. I didn't understand. We had this big climactic final battle sequence
well,
where it's the
final battle was an hour long.
Where it's the army versus the Decepticons, just generic Decepticons. We don't even get like Starscream fighting them or any of the named Decepticons. They're all just like these mindless rock'em sock'em robots that come toward him. And up to this point, the army has been so useless. Like, just a dog-sized Decepticon went into the most secure place on the planet where the army was protecting them, and they got completely pwned, as it were.
It wasn't even a fight.
It wasn't even a fight.
They walked in, they walked out. There was no resistance offered whatsoever.
And yet we're supposed to believe now that the army, with their machine guns, can take on this army of Decepticons coming toward them, and we don't even see that battle. It's just kind of like they're in a Alamo position where they're just firing blindly, and we don't see anything that's
which was
going
basically
on.
like an extended, unwelcome rehash of the scene where that Scorpion Decepticon attacks them in the first movie. That was all I could think of. It was basically the same thing, just without the annoying Indian stereotype from the call center.
Yeah.
Like,
I liked how characters in the movie were pointing out their own plot holes. Like, we had the army people trying to get on their radios and like, we're getting no signal, and all of a sudden the annoying CIA character
calls from like a camel phone.
Calls from a camel phone, saying your soldiers are completely out of control, and the
general's like, would somebody please explain to me why some guy in bumfuck Egypt is able to call me at the Pentagon and I can't contact my entire platoon? And like,
there should have been like an invisible arm going, shut up.
Michael Bay's like, shut the fuck up, stop improving!
You're pointing out the holes in our movie.
How does, like, I don't know how any of the characters travel from one place to another. Like, how is Megatron able to move? Like, where are they? Like, when they're on that space station, or like wherever the Fallen is headquartered, like wherever the exit, like, where is that?
I don't know.
Like, they never mention where that is. Is that like on the moon? Is it in space? Is it underground?
It's the same asteroid as Armageddon. It's this big cloudy rock that just has a lot of stuff flying around. It's not the moon. It's not Saturn or anything like that. It's just some rock with gases flowing off of it, and we see Decepticons hatching from like alien egg sacs and this giant blue goo coming out of it. And it kind of it brings up your question of like, where did these Decepticons come from? Do they come from the Allspark? Do they fuck? Do they reproduce?
They have balls.
They've got balls, so I guess it does. But
all right. And I always like that. Speaking of balls, can you imagine the balls he has to have like posters of Bad Boys 2 on the walls of the character?
That's the biggest no-no in movie. Promoting yourself, like even Bird Eye Gordon would have.
Who the fuck has movie posters on their walls? I mean, really?
Really. But it's just the ultimate tactless thing to do as a movie director to have your characters promoting your own movies and proclaiming you genius. Like, oh, I wonder if we should go to Bad Boys 2. What an awesome movie. But that brings up product placement. That the inevitable product placement, like the computer nerd that has the Mountain Dew that has the Mountain Dew machine in his room. It's kind of like if Spoony, if we were to pan over and he's got a Pepsi machine right next to this bookcase.
If you've ever been to college in your life, your bedroom, your dorm room in college would barely be big enough to fit this bed, let alone an entire home office and a fucking Mountain Dew vending machine. Like, how do you get a Mountain Dew vending machine in your dorm room?
How do you buy a Mountain Dew vending machine? But everything is LG. Like, the Army calls in on LG phones, which, I don't think the Army has a contract out with LG, but they do, and all the characters are just like, yo, I'm calling my girlfriend, and we look down, and it's a close-up of the phone, and it's the new LG phone, and
I'm pretty sure you can see Burger King in a few spots, because, like, Burger King is, like, I've seen commercials for for Burger King related to Transformers. I'm pretty sure if you look hard enough, you can find it.
But also, like I was saying last night, it's like who from Chevrolet sucked Michael Bay's cock?
Yeah, Chevy cars.
Worked the shaft, because there was a commercial before the show. It was for Ford, and the kid that was behind us, he's like Bumblebee, and the woman behind him goes, "No, you're stupid. Bumblebee's a Chevy. Get your cars right." So obviously, it's working somewhat. If the parents are going like, Chevy is the best car ever. They're the Megatron and the Decepticons. It's all Chevy, and so you're wondering like how Michael Bay was able to, who gave him off that he was able to put all Chevy cars.
Yeah, well,
in there.
the movie's budget was around $200 million. You just think about that
Easily.
$200 million. They went that long. They spent that much money, and so little happened. I can't comprehend that much bullshit. Like, I'm gonna wrap this up pretty soon because I think I'm getting pissed off, you're getting pissed off. And really, you could go all night, like, scene by scene, analyzing just how fucking wrong this movie is on every level. But, yeah, I think basically we've taken every bad movie we had, and aside from the example of Battlefield Earth, which I'm calling a draw, it really is one of the vacuous, most overblown, bloated, pointless... Did I say vacuous?
Yeah.
It's double vacuous. Loudest, most incomprehensible, coked out, rambling, insincere, over-dramatized, underplotted pieces of Michael Bay monkey shit smearing on his face, smeared on the screen. Just god-awful movies I think I've ever seen in a theater. It was the longest, it really was the longest feeling 2.5 hours of my life that I will never get back. And once again, everyone who paid for Transformers 2, fuck you hard. I hope Transformers 3 comes out. I hope you watch that, because I will be there with a flamethrower and I'll fucking kill you.
This is going to be the biggest grossing movie of the year.
Lock
it down.
I was mad that Twilight won awards, but I thought that was isolated to the teeny bopper audience. I hate all of humanity now. I wish you all death. I have officially become the enemy of all humanity, and I hate you.
Wow.
Yeah. You killed Oliver Stone. Transformers made you turn on Oliver Stone.
Yeah.
I don't know who you are anymore.